Okay, for number 13, you're determining if the two functions are inverses. There are a couple ways you can go about this. I'll show you both. So what you can do, the shortcut way is to kind of just actually take one of the equations, or one of the functions, I should say. And remember, f of x is just our function notation for y. So y equals f of x plus 20, right? That's the original one. And then you can actually find the inverse of this equation. And remember, to find your inverse, you switch your x and your y, right? So literally these two are just, oops. Okay, these two are just, come on, there we go. Change in places. There we go. And then you solve for y. So you're going to subtract 20 from both sides. So I get x minus 20 equals a 5y. And then you divide everything by 5, right? And so you get y equals a, now we wrote it a little differently. You can do a negative 20 plus x over 5. And if you notice, this is the same thing as up here, okay? Those two are the same thing. So they actually are inverses. F of x and g of x are inverses of each other. And the other way, if you give me just a second. All right, so the other way then, I'm going to shrink that over there a little bit to give myself some space. The other way, you're actually to do composition. So you do f of g of x. Oh, by the way, yes, these are inverses over here. I think I said it, I just didn't write it. So you do f of g of x. So you're basically going to write your f function 4 over, and instead of writing a simpleton x, you write your 4 over x plus 2 minus 2, right? So you're taking your g of x, this right here, and plugging it in where you see just a simple x in your f function. So then you just do a little bit of manipulation and simplifying some things. Your plus 2 minus 2, that's going to go away. So you have a 4 over x. And then really 4 divided by 4 over x is the same thing as 4 over 1 times x over 4. Your 4's are going to cancel out and you get an x. So because you got an x for f of g of x, you then have to go back and do your g of f of x composition. And then, so you do the same thing, and you basically are now going to take the f function and plug it in for g. So g is 4 over something plus 2. Well, you're going to change that something to 4 over x minus 2, right? So it's now 4 over something plus 2. That something is f of x, and then you do the same thing. Okay, it's really going to be 4 over 1 times an x minus 2 over a 4 plus the 2. Those 4's are going to cancel. You'll have an x minus a 2 plus a 2. Those 2's are going to go away, so you get an equal, you get an x there, and because you got f of g of x equals x, and that equals g of f of x, which is x, then yes, those are inverses as well. So either way is fine and acceptable. I'll accept either, as long as you show your work though. You have to, just not just automatically do yes or no.